All right, I think now's as good a time as any. We'll go
Okay.
ahead and kick it off. This is our final week of financial foundations on the month of debt. And so we'll have savings coming up next month. We're doing a new topic every single month. But for this month, we've done debt every single week and we're finishing it strong. So right now, we just kind of want to kick things off. And we've been hearing and a lot of really good questions have come through, and we really appreciate the feedback. So keep it up if you have any more. But with me today is Shannon Acosta. Again,
Hey.
my name is Hall Ballinger. We are both advisors here at Benchmark Wealth Management.
And we like to match.
Every day, that's a requirement of working here. It's not. But we're just going to kick things off with a lot of people that we get to meet with don't truly understand debt in the natural sense of it. They'll say, we'll ask them, hey, give us a rundown of your debt, and they'll say, yeah, I don't have much debt. I got a little credit card debt. And we're like, okay, that's great. And then they'll get into it and they have car debt, they'll have house notes, student loans. They're like, oh, that's just normal debt. Is normal debt bad? I'm sure you hear that a lot as well.
What's normal?
Exactly. And so basically, is normal okay? And we're here to tell you it is okay if you want to make those companies that are collecting that debt on you richer and richer every single day. Our hope for you is to empower yourself, empower your own cash flow to put that money to work, making you interest down the road instead of making it for those companies. And so the whole economy, the big companies out there that spend millions upon millions upon millions in marketing and advertising, they want you to think that it's natural, that it's common happenstance to have student loans, to have credit card debt. You put everything on a credit card debt. Why not have a car loan? You got it. Obviously, you're going to be paying $500 a month towards a car loan. That's just normal. That's part of life. Well, if you didn't know, the CEO of one of the biggest student loan companies out there, his annual salary is a little over $8 million.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Also, the CEO of one of the major credit card companies, I literally just looked it up. It's on the web. You can search it yourself. But his salary, $31 million
Oh
last
my God,
year.
that's just a little less than I make.
Yeah. So if you want to keep supporting them and allowing them, and the reason why they're making so much is because they've learned to harness the power of compounding interest. Not only have they learned to do that with their own money, they've learned to do it with hundreds of thousands of other people's money, possibly even yours. And so we're really here to encourage you to take that empowerment back into your own hands and let it start working for you. If you instead said, hey, you know what, I'm not going to have a car loan. I'm going to pay cash for a car I can afford. And instead of paying the average car loan note's $430 for used cars. Let's just say $400, you save $400 a month for the next 20, 40 years. You said, I'm just going to stick to paying cash for cars. If you invested that and assumed an 8% conservative return, that investment would look like $1.4 million. To break that down, you only put in $192,000. That's $1.2 million of interest that you've earned for yourself that while you're paying that car note, that's going to make that car dealership that money instead of you. So really just kind of take it in a big picture, look at it from a bird's eye view. And again, if you want help with that, that's what we're here for. And you might see behind us, this is our debt-free wall. So we actually started this not too long ago. It's something that we're extremely passionate about and we love. And so up on that wall, anytime someone pays off debt here, they get to take their photo with a sign of how much debt they paid off, when. And so right now, again, we did not start this more than a year ago,
How
but
many families are up there right now?
there's 27.
Wow.
Total amount of between 27 families paying off debt and being debt free, a little over $2 million.
That's awesome.
So if you feel like you have a large mountain to climb, things of that nature, the average debt on this wall, $78,000 per person. It's extremely manageable. Some up to over $300,000, some 15 to 20. So really, wherever you are, it can be done. You just have to have that plan in place. And if you need someone to help you put that in place, we're here. Shannon's here, Nancy, Ellie, and anyone in our office. That's what we're passionate about doing. To that extent, Shannon, We've talked about, okay, why we know now why is debt bad, but what can that do for you long term for your life if you don't have any debt? Is there a big difference?
Yeah, and first of all, congratulations if you don't have any debt. There are a few things, there are a few ways this affects you. The first is your right now. So if you don't have any debt payments, like Hall said, your monthly expenses are going to go down drastically. With that, you're going to get some freedom, freedom mentally, freedom financially. Your budget's going to be more under your control. So you can go out to eat more. You can do things that maybe other people can't or that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. And you can do them without the burden of knowing that you're going to have to pay for it later. The psychological freedom is huge. Knowing that you don't have anybody that you're obligated to every month is pretty significant. So, in addition to feeling a little bit more freedom today, hopefully with some of that psychological bandwidth, you'll be empowered to make smart choices with the extra cash flow that you have and invest it for your future. There's a study by Think Advisor. If you graduate college debt free, you are likely to have an extra $325,000 to $530,000 upon retirement. Now, obviously, that's over a long period of time, but that just takes into consideration that you might take some of your student loan payments and instead of paying it toward the student loan company and lining the $8 million guy's pockets, you can put it toward your future investments. So picture with me, you're 60, you have an extra $500,000 in savings. That could be the difference between retiring at 60 and 65. What would you do with an extra 5 years of your life? You might choose to work because you like it, and that would be great. You might choose to volunteer. What causes are near and dear to your heart? You might choose to spend it with family that you love or travel. Where would you go? What kind of trips would you take? Not only are you going to have extra years, you're going to have extra money. So you're really opening up your horizons and expanding what's possible for you to do in the future. I like to think of being debt free. You're trading for every one no that you trade today. You're getting about 15 different yeses in the future. You say no to one thing today, which might be, debt. You're making some harder choices and tweaking your lifestyle a little bit, but your opportunities are really opened up in the future. So with those extra yeses that you get to take advantage of in the future, another impact you're going to have is on other people. Charitable giving. If you kept 10 of those yeses and gave 5 of them away, imagine how many people you could benefit and feed and clothe and educate around you. Imagine what your community could look like if your neighbors and friends and family all do the same thing. I mean, it's pretty significant to let it fly and see how that train takes you.
Mm-hmm. It's all a balance of delayed gratification.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the trade-off? In prison, they'll teach inmates how to play chess, because in chess, you're not thinking about just the next move. You're thinking about the next 3 to 4 or 5 moves and how it affects the other player, how it affects everyone around you. So I really like how you're putting it in perspective.
Yeah. Well, and finally, you're affecting your kids, maybe not even financially by giving them money or a legacy, but you're showing them behaviors to avoid. So if you're somebody who is debt free, you probably have somebody else who's debt free to thank for that. You have their example to look after, and you get to be that person for somebody one day.
And just imagine, like Shannon said, what that can do for you if you don't have student loan debt long term to your retirement. And if you're thinking, well, I didn't have that, I did have that student loan debt, that's okay. But putting yourself in a position to get out of it and then allow that opportunity for potentially your children, people you care about, and just being able to do some pretty cool, they call it living and giving like no one else down the road. That's really what we're here to help do as well. So if that sounds something like you're interested in and you want to know more about, feel free to reach out. If you want to be on this wall and learn how to become debt free, get one of these cool t-shirts. They're not exclusive. You got to earn them, and it's hard work. It's not easy, but we'd be more than happy to help. So again, thanks for tuning in. Tune in next week for the month of savings. We'll be back. Thank you guys.